Hello there, Mr. Mojo here, otherwise known as Dorian Greenow. I'm the founder of KetoMojo, and we make a meter that can test your blood glucose and your blood ketones. Back in 2015, I was 207 pounds, obviously fully overweight. I had all the biomarkers for metabolic syndrome. I was on antidepressants, and my business was in the toilet. I wasn't doing well at work. And a good friend of mine, Todd White of Dry Farm Wines, and he's just down the way here, he goes to me, he's like, Dorian, you gotta give up those white devils. You gotta cast those white devils out. And I'm like, what on earth are you talking about? So I started reading up on paleo, and then I started reading about keto, and the science on keto was so good. I mean, I looked at Westman's, Berg, Fetke, Notes. I looked at all of their videos online. I bought Volek and Finney's book. I went and looked at everything I could possibly get on keto, and it was just so in the zone. This is what I wanted to go after. So I bought another meter, a very expensive meter, and the strips were at a ridiculous price. So I'm testing to a meter, I'm eating keto, and my weight just started like dropping off really nice and easy. And all I did was keto and yoga. I hung out with 17 wonderful ladies, and we did yoga every single day. I know I didn't go to the gym, and those ladies were like beating my ass every day, you know, and I'm like shaking my way through the whole thing. But it worked. But it bothered me that strips were so expensive. And so that's why I set about my mission to change it and make testing far more affordable. When I was consuming carbs and I was a glucose burner, I was in this fog. But you don't realize you're in that fog, because this is your existence, this is your life. You're on this roller coaster ride, and for me, I was manic depressive. But then suddenly it was like the cloud lifted. I had this all-day energy, and when I'm in the zone between 1.1 and 1.7 ketones, it's like that's solid. This absolute focus. I can run all day. When I do these events, I have a cup of coffee in the morning, and that is all it, and I just eat at night, and like as I get through the day, I'm more enjoyable, I'm having more fun. You know, all of my biomarkers completely changed down. I got perfect blood work. My doctor says, come back and see me next year. I actually see my dentist more than my doctor. The hardest thing about keto, giving up beer. I'm an Englishman. I was in the pub at 15 and a half. So that was quite tough, but luckily my wife is a sommelier. We live in the Napa Valley. And my good friend, Todd White of Dry Farm Wines, has got some excellent ketogenic certified wines, so I can still enjoy my libations as I did before. Well, when I started, we didn't have the ready-to-drink shakes in that respect. And, you know, for a lot of people, you know, there is this physiological response, and there's also a psychological response. And that feeling that you get of being satiated, the release of the ghrelin and the leptins is really important. And so I have found, you know, there are moments where it's just like I can do a quick chug and go, if you will, and that just makes me feel full. And I can use that as a crutch, if you will, that carries me forward as I get deeper into ketosis. So I really like the use of those kind of shakes, especially for a working mother or somebody who's super busy, maybe on a construction site, they don't have much time. It works really well. Oh my gosh, I recently just did Mega and Matt's, their new cookery book, and they had this enchilada thing. Oh my God, it was like the bomb. We only got introduced to it like 2 weeks ago, and like you can eat it great for 3 days because I'm frugal. Freezes really, really well. So this enchilada and pie dish, it's killer. So that's my current favorite. Before that was like doing curry chicken in the Instapot. Oh, I love a good curry. You know, I find after being on a ketogenic diet for so long, that I've come into balance in my eating habits, and I find it relatively easy to enjoy great tasting foods. I mean, people talk about it being a diet, and I'm like, oh, dude, I live really well. I live really richly. And the foods are super tasty and enjoyable. We just had a great scrambled egg and salmon dish with a little bit of basil for breakfast the other day. Followed that up with an eggs Benedict just on a little bit of Canadian and ham. And I had that with a nice Brut Sauvage champagne. You're telling me that that's bad food? That's delicious. And for me, I think we're going to see an agricultural revolution that is going to be demand driven by people saying, you know what, I'm not going to listen to the big pharma bro. I'm not going to listen to that big agricultural, because I can see the science. And they're going to choose great delicious foods that have been hand raised and pasture raised, and we're going to see a market forcing function. And you know, they might not even say the word keto. It will just be the right way to actually eat. And I think that agricultural revolution is going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to see. We're going to see nut crops, tree crops, coconut oil crops that's going to coming in. We're going to see grazing that's going to go underneath. The chicken tractors are going to come on out, and it's going to be a life of abundance. And I think that's how we're going to see keto change. And I don't want to do the shameless plug, but we're going to do the shameless plug for KetoMojo. I firmly believe that you can only manage what you measure. You know, some people say you've got to be in ketosis at 20 grams total, or is it 20 grams net? Can you be in ketosis at 55 grams or 75 grams? Will protein kick you out of ketosis? Will it not? The zero carbers have shown that sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But if you test, you know, and you release yourself of all of that anxiety, because you wake up in the morning, you test, you know you're in ketosis, you know the dietary choices you've made were right. Then you don't get the keto police. Who needs the keto police? I don't.